was brought here and made to, work the land and build this country, as our ancestors had done. Um, well, this piece of history that I want to share with you guys is not to negate from slavery, but I just don't like that. That's the one thing that we always harp on as far as our history. Our history goes so far beyond that, right? The oldest bones that was found on this earth, in Ethiopia, I think Africa, is from a black man. So we've been here for a long time. Way before slavery was even, a thing in America, right? In the Americas. Um, I want to speak on the Black Moors, right? I know people have heard about the Moors and the Moorish temples and the teachings and everything, right? But that's about it. That's probably as far as it goes. Oh yeah, these Moors, this and that. What they call the Black Moors, they call them Blackamoor, right? Um, or Moorish Negroes. It's a lot of different names. Well, this is a piece of history about a Moor named Esteban the Moor, or Black Esteban, Black Stephen. Esteban translates in English to Stephen, right? So Esteban the Moor. We're going to speak on Esteban the Moor. Came here, I think, twice on expeditions before Columbus even reached here. It was 1491 or something like that was the first or the second time he came, but he came twice before. And Columbus even mentioned this, that black Moors were here before him, right? And some of them had, staged here and intertwined with Native Americans and had children with them and became tribal people, right? That's why you have a lot of indigenous people and Africans that consider themselves indigenous because they tilled this land before it was colonized, right? Because they've been here. So Stephen came here on an expedition. I think the second one was in 1400 something, right? Don't quote me exactly on this. But he had a Native American wife that he had kids with. So while they were scouting the land, he came with some Spanish guys, some guys from Spain, and Stephen was sent out, I would say, probably 50 miles or 50 yards ahead of the rest of the campaign to scout lands, and he would leave signs. He would make crosses. The bigger the cross, the more prosperous and big the town is. Well, he was sending back messages to them, letting them know that he was coming upon civilizations like people was already here, right? While they're sitting to discover something. So one of them was for a town. He sent back a cross that was the size of a person because of how big and vast this land was and plentiful. They thought that Stephen may have mistaken some bushels of corn that was drying on the roof as gold. So he sent back this grand cross, letting them know how big and vast this land is that they're gonna come upon, that they recognize. Well, he kept moving forward and inward, and he came upon this one village that mistaked him as a Comanche. A Comanche was a type of, like, I would say, to them they like was like gods, sort of deities or whatever, and they mistaked him for one. And Esteban the Moor was killed. He met his demise in this land, and his people that survived was able to send back a message to let them know that Esteban had met his demise in this area, but they um, mistaked him for this deity. which made them kill him. But that is um, some history on Esteban Moore, a person who excavated this land. I think been here twice before Columbus ever set foot on any of the Americas, the Caribbeans, or whatever. He had been here, and it had been Moors here way before then. I mean, there's a lot more stories that you could go into that we have been here. We discovered, can't even say discovered, we came to this land well before they had.